Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Gobind and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you so much for watching this video live. If you are watching live, make sure you X out of the chat and give the video a thumbs up. And if you're watching the replay, please also give the video a thumbs up. And also subscribe if you are new to my channel and hit that notification bell so you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos. It is a very exciting time right now. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is exciting. And for everyone that's been kind of following me and hearing me talk about the astrology of this year 2020 and of right now, you know that it's a big deal when it comes to the ascension of the planet. The whole goal for me, or my whole purpose on this planet, is to anchor the light, just like a lot of you light workers, starseeds out there feel a connection to. And it's a purpose that involves, in times of crisis and in times of a lot of fear and confusion, for you to step up and be the leader. It's literally what we've been talking about for a long time. And that is what's going on right now. Underneath all the chaos, underneath all of the fear, underneath everything that's going on, underneath all of the breakdown and all of the death and the transformation that's happening, we're supposed to be, stepping up. There is a deeper meaning to what's going on here, and that is what I want to focus the first part of this video on. But we are also going to do live mini readings. And so if you want to get on the list, it is through PayPal, $25. If you need a reading, if you need some guidance as to what's going on astrologically for you specifically, we can look at your natal chart. We can look at your at transits that are affecting your natal chart. And we can also do tarot or oracle readings. So feel free to get on the list if you want to get a reading tonight. For now, I'm just gonna kind of talk about what's going on, but first let's see who's in the chat. We've got Teresa in here. How's it going, Teresa? Thank you for that comment. Angie's here. Hey, Maria, welcome in. Valerie, welcome. Patty, welcome. Rebecca, thank you for coming in. Alexa, how are you doing? Thank you. Lucia, thank you. reporting. Wendy, hey. Anne, how's it going? Thank you guys. Those of you that are commenting in the chat, but also those of you that are watching live, for joining in today. Now I'm doing this video a little bit earlier than normal. I usually go live around 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, but I'm going live a little earlier because I was kind of expecting to do a longer broadcast tonight. Hey, Gan. Erica says hi. Hey, Erica. So let us just begin. I want to begin by asking you guys, how are you feeling? If you guys have questions about anything, or if there's a question, burning question that you want to ask me, I would say that about what's going on right now collectively, I would say definitely go ahead and put it in the chat. And I'm just going to go kind of into this talk. I will actually be doing a special webinar, a special spring 2020 webinar. That's happening next weekend. So not this weekend, but next on the 28th, March 28th. And all the details to sign up are below. It's $15, basically like a cover charge to get into the webinar to watch this video. What I'm going to do in that video is I'm going to go into detail about the specific astrological aspects that are going on for the next 3 months. Because honestly, it's a waning moon right now, almost to the dark phase. So because astrologically, the next 3 months are massive. We've had, right, we just went through like all of winter. Can you believe that? And since the beginning of 2020, it's been one thing after another, changing, things shifting, and it seems like it's not letting up. And it's not going to. And that kind of might be rough or harsh for some of us to hear. Even for myself, like I'm going through my own, personal journey through all of this. And the crazy thing is that it's not going to let up. So in that webinar, I will be going like into the astrology specific, and there's a lot of transits, and there's a lot of ingresses, and there's a lot of powerful conjunctions, but also different aspects that are going to be continue to affect the collective as well as us individually. And not only will we go into that, and you'll get to ask questions during the webinar. Not only will we do that, I'm actually going to go through each sun sign and rising sign and go through how those transits are going to be affecting you based on your sun sign and rising sign. And it'll be like themed. So for each sign, there's going to be a theme, and we're going to talk about each theme. So this is going to be a webinar that's going to probably last 2 hours, maybe even longer, because we're going to go into so much detail about what I'm basically going to talk to you guys in general right now. I know, Valerie, that's awesome. Satnam, Christine, welcome in. My condolences to you. Michelle, welcome. Hey, Mystery Science, welcome. We knew it was going to be transformational year. We were just hoping to be wrong. Well, that's an interesting comment. We like to us light workers, we like to think really positive, right? If you're a true light worker, you don't focus on the negative too much, because light energy, right? When you think about the vibrational frequency of light, it vibrates at a higher frequency, right? And when you're connecting to the higher dimensional aspects of the universe, it gets it vibrates faster and faster, but it also gets more less physical and more energetic, and it feels exhilarating. And for those of us that are here on the planet to do this work and to anchor that light, it feels really good. And we, for those of us that have gone through major awakenings in our life, because light workers at this point, I feel like if you don't know that you're here, if you don't know you're a light worker, chances are this is your wake-up call. And for a lot of people on the planet, I'm wanting to put my hair down. for a lot of people on the planet, what is happening is that they're getting the harsh awakening, right? Can you kind of see what I'm saying? They're getting the rough awakening. But for those of us that have had awakenings and are more aware of what that process entails and how it feels like your life gets turned upside down, and then you have to pick yourself back up together again, or put yourself back together again like Humpty Dumpty, but in a different way, we understand what's going on. But for those people that are basically, a lot of people in the world are getting caught off guard. That's what's happening. Because it's time, and it's time. And we've been seeing it coming. We've been hearing it coming. Astrologers have been kind of like warning us, like 2020, Saturn-Pluto conjunction, shit's going to hit the fan. And right, we were hoping to be wrong. Right? We were hoping that it wasn't going to be that bad. We were hoping that it was going to be like let's do this, but, the reality is that it's time to step up in ways that we've never stepped up before. Exactly, Alexa. Fear can't exist in this light. Love is stronger than fear. It is. Will there be a recording if we can't make the webinar live? Yes, there will definitely be a recording and a replay. If you can't make it live, and then if you don't purchase the webinar, if you don't sign up before I go live, I will offer it after it's live for those of you guys that just want to buy like the replay. It'll be at a discounted price, but I don't know how that's all going to work out. So just to be safe, just sign up. It's only $15, so I can definitely know to send it to you, the replay link. But yes, great question. Gaia is healing our beautiful home. Yes, she is. What else we got here? They call it coming down to reality, not coming up to reality. Yeah, exactly. Just saw your post, just coming back in now. Oh, great. Thank you, Wendy, for moderating, and the moderators are in here. Jai, what did you think of the 5G theory in China? I'll talk about that in a second. Remind me if I go off on a tangent and forget. But basically, the webinar is going to be the webinar. It's going to be happening next week, so make sure to sign up. The link is in the description of this video. But in a general sense, basically, this is it, you guys. This is it. The world is changing. The other day, and I've been keeping up with, I've been watching, the press conferences that the president has been having, and me and Dawn have been keeping up on all of that, and, watching videos about the virus, and understanding, the process that it goes through in the body. So understanding the physical aspect of it, but also understanding, energetically what these times feel like, watching and observing what's going on. Basically staying up to date on the whole picture, because there is a bigger perspective here, and we can get lost in the fear that is coming up right now. And this is why I wanted to focus on sort of getting you to see the bigger picture of what's going on, so you can at least have to be able to calm your energy and realign yourself with what really matters right now in this time. Are viruses a distraction for when 5G comes out? No, 5G is already out. There's a theory going around that basically I'll get into that in a second, because it's gonna be a deep dive. Okay, so that's one thing that I wanted to share with you guys. The other one is, tomorrow I'm actually going to release a newsletter that is all about Saturn in Aquarius, because literally tomorrow Saturn moves into the sign of Aquarius, and it's going to basically complete its full transit in Aquarius in 2023. So for the next few years, we are going to be feeling the effects of this Saturn in Aquarius, which is a massive shift, big energetic shift. And it's part of what is basically happening right now. It's part of the times. So make sure to sign up for my newsletter if you have not yet, so you can get that email tomorrow. It comes out. It's already scheduled. I think it's scheduled for like 8 in the morning Pacific time. And in that email, I go through each of the signs and give you a little, a description of energetically what the theme is for you for that transit. So get on the newsletter. Actually, you also get a free moon astrology guide when you sign up for my newsletter. So, wow, that's cool. Michelle, you are actually going to be going through a Saturn return. So that's happening. Sorry, I'm feeling a lot right now. Like there's a lot going on. I'm trying to focus on the chat and everything and look at the comments. So forgive me if I sound like I'm just like jumping all over the place. So we talked about the email that's coming out tomorrow. Make sure you're on my list. I also have a Facebook group. And another thing that I want to do is I want to do a 40-day meditation starting tomorrow. And this is not something that is just my idea. This is something that I saw one of my new teachers, my new spiritual teachers. His name is Matias de Stefano. He is actually Argentinian. I recently discovered him. He has a series on Gaia TV, and it's amazing to me because I'm from Argentina and we're similar age. He was born very near to where I was, and for this whole time I've felt like there's since I discovered him, I felt a strong connection. And what I'm going to share today is a lot of what he has taught me through watching his videos and his lives and stuff like that. But it's a collective thing that's happening, and that's why I'm choosing to share and participate in this like kind of global 40-day meditation that starts tomorrow. And I can tell you that, and I'll tell you the significance of that as well. But if you want to participate in that, the best way is to either follow me on Instagram, at Channel for Grace on Instagram, at Channel for Grace on Twitter, and then the Facebook group to be a part of the community and be able to kind of talk to each other about how the meditation is going. Then join the Facebook group, which is Channel for Grace Soul Tribe on Facebook. So that's what's happening starting tomorrow. And I'm not going to be doing that on YouTube, but it will be something that I'm going to be kind of guiding us through for the next 40 days. And we'll talk about the significance of why 40 days and all of that. Let's see, did we give it all? Okay, so if you sign up for a reading, I saw that someone signed up for a reading. If you sign up for a reading tonight, you actually get entered to win a free reading. I'm going to give away one free reading in March and one free reading every month after that. So when you sign up for readings on Friday nights, you get automatically entered to win that free reading. So that is what's going to happen there. And I basically have announced everything that's going on. So let me take my notes out of my way so I can now just channel. I'm really excited about everything that's coming. Sometimes I think we all experience this. Like sometimes I'm feeling fear. Sometimes I'm feeling this intense fear that's kind of going around because we're tapped in. And I have to remind myself, to stay calm and to remember why I'm here. Insecurity, hey Lindsay, insecurity in the realm, mostly right now what everyone's experiencing is insecurity in the realm of work and finances. Our lives are getting really shaken up. Basically, the economy is being shut down, right? Restaurants are closing, non-essential businesses are closing. You know, the yoga studio that I go to was closed like last week. The gym that I go to is closed. So gyms, yoga studios, exercise places, non-essential shops, bars and restaurants, and everyone's being asked to stay home, right? To self-quarantine yourself so that we can slow down the spread of the virus, the spread of the coronavirus. And that's causing a lot of panic, and understandably so, because people are wondering, like, how am I going to pay my rent? Not everyone has money saved up. Most people in the US live paycheck to paycheck. That's how our economy flows. Like, you know, the reason I get paid is because somebody else got paid, and then somebody else got paid, and somebody else got paid, and, you know, somebody else bought something. And so it's this chain reaction of money that it flows because we're all in it. We're all doing it, right? Hi, Christina Maria, welcome in. So that completely getting shut down from one day to the next, it literally feels like the other day, it literally felt like we woke up in a new world. It literally felt that way. Not to mention that the spring equinox, the spring started yesterday. We have moved into the sign of Aries, the sun. Saturn moves into Aquarius tomorrow. And then we have a new moon on Tuesday. New moon in Aries on Tuesday. Astrologically, it's a huge time of rebirth. And with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, that is the death of all the old structures. We can see this happening all around us. For us, I mean, I speak of us as meaning the US because I live in the US, but this is happening this is happening in the whole world, you guys. This is happening in the entire world. Everything is getting shut down. I mean, you've heard what's happening in Italy. They already have like 3,000 deaths. They already have more deaths in Italy than they did in China. That's crazy. And honestly, in the more Western hemisphere, the crazy thing is that, so it started in China and it literally like started going around the globe. And for the more Western, you know, hemisphere, we actually had more time to get ready. But Italy is getting hit really hard right now. Yes, and it is a massive reset. Yes, we definitely, everyone's like, we're feeling it globally. We're feeling this globally. So what's actually going on? What's actually going on? Why is all this happening and coinciding with an equinox, a spring equinox? Right? What is the meaning of this? How can we connect the astrology with what we're seeing in the world? Well, here's my theory, and I've been feeling this internally for a while, that this is the time that we've been waiting for. And there's a beautiful Nako song called We Are On Time that is actually a perfect reminder of your purpose here and of remembering that it's not too late. You're here. This is what you signed up for. It's time to like put on your warrior suit on and do your work. And that's why, right? That's why, how long have I been saying, like, you got to find out what your purpose is. Like, you got to find out what you're doing here. Even if it's a simple, subtle thing as just, you know, meditating. But there is a massive shift. And it's coinciding with the spring equinox. Now, the spring equinox represents transformation in itself. It also represents awakening. It is when, you know, you think of the bear, we think of bears. The bears come out of hibernation in the winter, and then in the spring, and this is obviously for, you know, the northern hemisphere, not the southern, but in the spring, the flowers start to wake up, right? The everything is getting charged up. You know, that Aries energy, Aries is the initiator. So the Aries is initiating change and shift. Equinoxes have been, for a long, long time, been recognized as sacred moments in time where there's a balance. There's a balance between the night and the day, right? There's a coming together. There's a blending. There's a moment in between the two seasons. It's a sacred time, and it's a ceremonial time, and it's been that way for eons. You know, in ancient cultures, even way back to Atlantis, the priests, the high priests, would all gather in the different directions of, you know, the world. North, south, east, west. And the significance was to align with the frequency of the planet. Because what are equinoxes? Equinoxes happen on Earth. Equinoxes mark the seasons, and the changes are seen on planet Earth. We see it in nature. It's nature. It's the planet. It's herself. It's not. It's more earthly than, I guess you could say, astrologically. And people understood this because they saw it with their own eyes and they experienced in the material world. And the material world, hey Eric, is that Taurus energy. It's the grounded, it's the earth, right? It's the dirt. It's the sensual too. But it's the material world. And so we have known equinoxes more than we've known astrology, right? We've known equinoxes for a lot longer. So, equinoxes were a time to align yourself with the earth, to align yourself with the balance, to find balance, to connect, to go within as well. And usually this was done in like sets of 4, meaning that there are sort of these 4 areas that we can work on when it comes to this. And I'm going to actually open up, because this information I'm sharing from Matias De Stefano, which he went actually live earlier today, and I'm very grateful for that, because he gave this amazing, beautiful lecture explaining this in detail, although he did do it in Spanish. So if you know Spanish, go watch it. I highly recommend. He went live on Instagram, and then he went live on his Facebook group. And anyways, this is where there's like a continuation of this beautiful message. So basically, there's 4 directions, right? North, south, east, west. There's also 4 moments in time. We've got the 2 solstices and the 2 equinoxes, right? And when you think of altars, there's also, like I'm studying a specific type of altar from South America called the Pachacuti Mesa, and there's north, south, east, west, but then there's like the inner world, the soul, and then, you know, the extension like down into the underworld and then up into the upper world. But this is a theme that's been ongoing like forever. Like, these are massive themes that have been around since the beginning of human beings on the planet. So when you focus and when you align with the sacred energy of equinoxes or solstices, what's actually happening is we are connecting to the I am source. And the I am source is, you are just going within and you recognize who you are, you recognize your purpose, you understand, you clear all your channels, and you are here, fully present. I am. It's a realization of who you are. I am, but then also the connection is we are. And the solstices and the equinoxes are times to connect to that we are. Because the meditations and the sacred ceremonies are, we're here and we are us, right? Each individual person, but it's more to that. We are one, right? Is the whole significance. It's the coming together. It's the balance. It's like the union, right? It's a coming back into union. And that's why these times of the year were significant. So the number 4 has symbolism here. There's also, there's 10 chakras found sort of in the body. You've got the earth center chakra. You've got like the bottoms of the feet. It's a chakra, the knees. And then you go into the known, the more famously known chakras, the root, the sacrum, the plexus, the heart, the high heart, which is sort of like the area surrounding the heart. It's kind of like the aura of the heart. That's another chakra. Then you've got the throat. You've got your third eye. You've got the crown. You've got like the center above. And which aligns basically the two upper chakras align with the pineal gland and the pituitary gland in the brain. But then you've got, you've got your aura. There's a lot of things that we just most of us don't really know in depth, these topics and these things. So I'm just kind of giving like a quick sort of, I guess, introduction into this. But during the meditation, we'll be going into a little more detail about this stuff. So basically, all you have to know is that there's 10 chakras. And there's 10 chakras in the physical body. There's also the emotional aspect of the chakras. There's also the mental aspects of the chakras. And there's also the collective aspects of the chakras, which literally makes 40 chakras total. And that's the significance of the number 40. Not to mention that quattro, right? Quarantine is actually connected to that 4 energy. So what does this all mean, right? Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. Basically, and feel free to ask questions. Yeah, I love this stuff too. Feel free to ask questions, and I'll get back to them in the chat. I'm not actually watching the chat right now. But here's the thing. Right now, what's happening is sort of the calling of a sacred time. The earth is calling us to be in sacred space because she is activating her crown chakra. So what do humans represent on the earth? And this has to do with the 5G stuff. So humans, in a sense, we're electrical, right? We're like electrical beings. Our nervous systems are electrical. I don't know if you guys know this, but we can get shocked, right? We can get struck by lightning. Why? Because we are magnetic, electromagnetic, right? We have electricity within our body. That the nervous system works through electric currents. When you think of the Kundalini energy of the body, if you think of the human body, Whenever you talk about Kundalini energy, we're talking about electromagnetic frequencies. We're talking about clearing our chakra centers. The central nervous system is contained within that spine. So we are the central nervous system of the earth. We conduct that electricity. So do animals, they also have, nervous systems. But as conscious beings, we are like the nervous system of the planet. And right now, we are being called to be in sacred space. I mean, imagine the implications. Everyone on the planet is in quarantine. We have been for so long looking out, blaming others, blaming other people, beings, corporations, organizations for things, and we have not been looking in. Everything is sort of out there in the world, right? Yeah, we're conductors, but it's time to look within. That's the shift. And the whole earth right now is asking all human beings to go within. And this meaning goes beyond the virus, beyond the fear, beyond the death. What this virus is actually making us look at and face is our own death. We are confronted with our own death. No one is going to escape death. And it's in our freaking face right now. And there is no way out. The only way out is in. And that's why right now, those of us that are prepared, like those of us that are like, yeah, I feel that. I feel that message. I'm aligning with it, right? You're here to do the work. You're here to do the work. And then for those of us that have been kind of oblivious, not paying attention, it's a really, really rough transition. Remember I've been saying that? Like if you haven't been, follow, because right now with the North Node in Cancer, we've been asked to follow our heart, to connect to our heart. And the heart means you go within, not without. So our passion, our love, our connection is here, right here. It's within us. We've doubted it, right? Now it's the real test of time. Do you really believe in all of that? Do you really believe that you can do this? The earth is calling us all to go within. And now that we're all in this quarantine, we can't go out. We're stuck here. So what do we do? Well, here's what I would recommend is that you go into meditation, is that you focus on clearing all your chakras, so that you focus on seeing the light, on anchoring the light, so that you focus not on the positive things of life. This isn't about positivity or negativity. This is about purpose. This is about being the warrior of the light. This year, Mars is going to move into Aries, you guys. Right now, he's in Capricorn, right? He's going to go through a couple more transitions, but he will eventually go into Aries. And he's going to be in Aries for a long time because he's actually going to retrograde in Aries. That's crazy. I think it's going to be like months that he's in Aries. Anyways, he's the sacred warrior. Mars in Aries is the sacred warrior. So we're all being called to be that sacred warrior and to align right now. So what else are you going to do? Right? There's nowhere to go. You can't go without, like, the outside world is not here to solve anything. Now it's time to do the inner work for reals. And that's why we're going to do this 40-day meditation together, which if you didn't hear anything about it yet, join my Facebook group and follow me on Instagram at Channel for Grace, and I'll kind of guide you through the next 40 days. We don't know what's coming, but I can tell you that this is just the beginning, you guys. This is just the beginning. And as humanity has literally stopped, the earth is healing. Pollution is slowing down. The animals and like the dolphins are coming back to the canals in Venice, Italy. The animals are coming in a little closer. They're coming out, right? We've been pushing them out. With our cities and our concrete jungles, we've been pushing the animals out, and now they feel the stillness because they're connected. And in that stillness, that's like reviving the earth. The stillness is reviving the earth. Think about that for a minute. It's huge. So, the major transits that are guiding us during this time are obviously the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that happened in January, the end of old structures, the death of old structures, right? The equinox, the beginning of a major shift, the connection, the balance, right, between the day and the night, the center space, the silence, the space in between the space, the unknown. Saturn moving into Aquarius, the father figure of the zodiac coming in a different sign. Traditional ruler of Aquarius, but nevertheless in a powerful fixed sign. We're going to make this concrete, this new world concrete. Thank you for that. We're going to make the world concrete, but in a different way. Because Aquarius is the fixed sign. It is an air sign, but it's about innovation, new ideas, new worlds, revolutions. It's not an easy thing to be alive right now. Somebody's got to do it, right? Somebody's got to do the work. This is a massive calling. Massive calling. Then we've got the new moon in Aries happening next Tuesday. I'll be live doing the ceremony next Tuesday night. A few days later, Pluto-Jupiter conjunction. More death. More change. More transformation. Right? It's getting magnified. Jupiter's like, let's shine a light on this. Let's finish it off, right? Let's put that magnifying glass and like nitpick at all the things that are not working and then get rid of them. So, and that's just in the next couple of weeks. We've got like a ton of other transits, which we'll be covering in the webinar. So make sure you guys sign up for that. So that's what I wanted to share. Yeah, a whole new up. And Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius. Uranus, this is interesting. Uranus is actually in Taurus right now. And he's been, remember, asking us to build a new world, to realign, to reconnect with the earth in a different way. And then it also rules the sign of Aquarius, which Saturn is moving into. So the power goes to Uranus. the power goes to Uranus right now, massively, and to the Earth. Aquarius, Taurus. Uranus and Venus, really. But the Earth, because Taurus is the Earth, right? It's the Earth element. The most Earth element of all the Earth elements, I think. But that's the shift. That's the change. That's what's going on. Thank you, Wendy, for posting that up. Dawn. Awesome, Michelle. Yeah, the humanitarian in all of us is being called right now. So as the old world continues to crumble, we're going to have to start rebuilding it. I have this intuition that the light workers are not going to die. I don't think light workers are going to die. I've heard also that the children are not really getting sick. And it makes me think of the third wave of volunteers who are the children. And it makes me think of the fact that their DNA is already set up. It's already vibrating high. It's almost like they have immunity or something. It's almost like life is on their side. But I have this intuitive hit, and I'm kind of getting chills right now, that I don't think light workers are going to die during this. Because we're needed. We're needed. I think we're going to be the leaders to carry us to the next phase. But that's just my intuition. That's just a hunch. How could we, right? How could we exit the planet right now? I don't think that's going to happen. I think the light workers are here to stay, right? So I'm going to stop right there because I can go down rabbit holes with things like that. Yes, exactly, Christina Maria. We've been preparing for this, many of us, energetically, sometimes without even knowing it. Just knowing that you're on a journey of awakening and spirituality, and you're like, there's something more to life than just what meets the eye. That prepares you. Okay, so definitely join the webinar, you guys, next week, because we are going to go deep into the astrology of the next 3 months. And that webinar is actually going to replace the monthly astrological forecasts. So I've been doing monthly astrological forecasts since, I don't know, September or something. I can't remember. But I've been doing these monthly astrological forecasts. Those are going to be replaced by these quarterly webinars so that I can give you a better idea of more long-term what's happening, of more themed, right? Because remember, the solstices and the equinoxes are powerful moments in time. They're sacred space. So I will be splitting the astrology into these powerful 4 phases of the year. So this webinar is going to replace basically the April astrological forecast. So if you love that video, then definitely don't miss the webinar, because I'm not going to do a monthly one anymore. It's going to be quarterly now. But we will talk about the next 3 months. It's going to be intense, because I'm also going to talk about historically what has happened before in the past, hundreds of years ago, when the same alignments were going on in the sky. I'm going to be talking about history, right? I'm going to be talking about astrology, and I'm going to be talking about, sun sign and rising sign. Okay. Thank you. So if you want to get a reading, definitely get on the list tonight. If you need some guidance for tonight, please get on the list. I'm going to go check the list real quick and write these names down. It's $25 to get on the list. And I can look at your natal chart, a transit chart, or I can also do a tarot astrology reading. And so far we've got Anne on the list, we've got Patricia, and also if you get on the list, you are going to be entered to win a free reading for the month of March. So far we've got Anne, Patricia, and Dawn on the list. So there's plenty of room. Get on the list if you want to for tonight. Thank you, Christina Maria. Okay, so Anne, let's begin with Anne. Hopefully you're in the chat right now. What question do you have? And if you guys have, questions, lingering questions, feel free to ask. But mostly I'm going to be answering all of them during the webinar because there are also going to be a Q&A. So it'll be very specific, right, to what we're talking about. And things are not going to get any easier, unfortunately. They're going to get more scary, more difficult before they get better. I'm so glad that you were here to get the message, Elizabeth. Yeah, the way shores. I love that, Alexa. This is very, very exciting. Okay, and then Lindsay got on the list as well. So, and you want a transit reading. So what we're going to do is you're going to give me the information. You're going to give me date of birth, time you were born, an exact location, and I'm going to pull it up on my astrology program because I know I have your chart from before, but it's been a while, so I have to redo all of them. So while we wait for that information, I'm just going to keep answering questions in the chat. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Thank you, Christina Maria, for moderating, and Wendy as well. And we've got Christina Maria on the list as well. Am I right to think this is a pandemic? What does that mean? What do you mean by pandemic? Awakening the Planetary Mind, Barbara Handclaugh's good intro. Ooh, I love that. And Kim too? Let me actually double check. So it was in order: Anne, Patricia, Dawn, Lindsay, Christina M, and Kim. Thank you guys. All right, here we go. You just had a birthday. 1960. Happy birthday. Time 6:43 a.m. in Evansville. Indiana. March 15th, 1969 at 6:43 a.m. in Evansville, Indiana. Okay. So Anne wants a transit reading. So let's also add the second chart, which is the current transit. And then we'll take a picture because this is kind of how it works. Oops. No, not that. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm excited about these readings. I know, I think there's a lot going on for all of us, and we can all use a little clarification, confirmation every once in a while. So let us connect the iPad. The power of 4, man. The power of 4. A planned event, planned by. I don't know if it's planned, but it's definitely happening. And we have to deal with it. At this point, you know, whether planned or not, it's what's going on. That's more important. There's no way getting around this one. I'm going to, I'm pulling your chart up right now. Just need to make sure. That we can, let me actually pull up your chart on the screen. Hang on, give me a second. Thank you for your patience, you guys. This part always takes a minute. So here we go, astrology and the iPad. And then I transition so that you can actually look at your chart. Thank you, moderators. Yes, you guys too rock. Haha, I know, right? Learn from the best. Yeah, definitely give the video a thumbs up too, you guys. Okay, so this is and this is your chart, and these are the transits that are happening right now. The moon is also in Aquarius, you guys. It's going to go into Pisces, and then it's going to move into Aries on Monday, and then we'll have the new moon in Aries on Tuesday. So the moon is waning, and it's going to get to a point where it's at its darkest phase of the moon, which is not the best feeling of times, but it's definitely that internal process, and it's aligning with the equinox. So again, more of that, we need to go within. We need to focus. You have a lot of conjunctions going on right now with the Mercury, the moon. This is pretty wild. Chiron. You're actually you're 50 this year, right? Did you just turn 50, Anne? Hey, Darcy, how's it going? Did you just turn 50? Sorry, my iPad's acting up, so I am waiting for the little pen to show up so I can write on it. Apologize for that. I think it's just like having a, there it is. Okay, so let's switch to that, and there we can write. Okay, so by the way, you have a moon in Aquarius, and so the moon is basically conjuncting your, you just turned 51. Okay, so this last year, you have literally gone through your Chiron return, which is a massive shift in it's a cycle of life that changes you from being kind of lost in the abyss to coming full circle and understanding yourself at a very deep spiritual level. That's what the Chiron return means. You also have, your sun is in Pisces, and the moon just went into Aries, but that's significant too, because this has been your season. And so I'm sure that you've been feeling a lot of emotional intensity during this time, because Pisces are very connected. You also have the sun in the 12th house, which is a very deep, compassionate experience and empathic and feeling experience of the world and everyone around you. So if you've been feeling crazy, that's probably why, because you have a lot of that energy in your chart. You have so Saturn is actually going to come into Aquarius in your 11th house of friends and sharing your gifts with the world. So the transition that you're going through right now is you've been asked to change what your career is in your life. The sort of the persona that you put out in the world has been asked to step down, and then a new one is going to emerge. And this new persona that you put out into the world is going to be something new and different that you've never really put out before. That's what's going to happen for you. And this is going to be in the realm of friendships, This is going to be in the realm of where you actually begin to share your gifts with the world. And then basically your 10th house of career. This has been, all of these major transits have been going on in your 10th house of career. The Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is the end of the old world. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, which is happening in just, days. Mars and Pluto and Jupiter, like all of these planets are like the major players. And they've been transforming your house of career. Or the house where we reach out and we express who we are in the world. I'm just making sure I didn't miss a message from you. So does that give you some insight? Is there like any question that you want to ask about, what you're feeling, on your side of the coin, what's going on? You also have Mercury conjunct Mercury. I think I mentioned that already, but there it is right there. You have Mercury in Pisces. So Mercury in Pisces is being able to use your emotions to help you think, basically. To using your emotions as a guiding system for your actions and your thoughts. What else can I see that is significant here? You do have a lot of Aries energy. That's going to be powerful during this Aries season. And you do also have a desire with Chiron and Aries to know who you are, to understand who you are at a deeper level. Will I have a partnership with this new endeavor? You will definitely start to make new friends. You will definitely start to make new friends. Venus right now is transiting your first house of the self. So when you talk about, and it's very, very possible that you will connect with, like, in a partnership, if you're talking about romantically, because you do have Aquarius at the cusp of your 7th house of relationships, which means that with you being an Aries rising, you're kind of drawn to that Aquarius energy. With Venus transiting your first house, this is Venus. Venus rules the 7th house. She's the planet of relationships, of love. She's the goddess of love. But right now, she's really asking you to focus on yourself. And that's what I'm seeing in the chart. She's asking you to focus on yourself. And as you focus on yourself, it's possible. And always, if we are meant to be in a soul relationship with someone else, when we do that inner work, we send out sort of like a signal out to the universe that says, I'm ready for that higher vibrational frequency union, and it shall start searching for you too. So I hope that gives you some insight. And thank you for getting a reading. So, who is next on the list? We've got Patricia is next. So Patricia, will you let me know what you want to ask while I go into PayPal and look for who else is on the list? We've got Michelle and Darcy that have gotten on the list now. You're welcome. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Okay, transit reading for Patricia. So let me pull it up. Now, when I look at your chart, is there something specific that you want me to look at? Or do you want me to just look at it generally, what I see, what stands out? December 19th, 1961, 2:58 p.m. Sitka, Alaska. December 19th, 1961, 2:58 p.m. Sitka, Alaska. Okay. Wow, this is a very interesting chart. Okay. General reading for Patricia. So let's pull up Patricia's chart. So let's see what we got here. For you as well, what I'm seeing is there a lot of the activity happening in your 10th house plus Saturn. You basically are going through another Saturn return. It's almost like the second Saturn return. And that is, you know, when we go through Saturn return, the universe kind of teaches us powerful lessons, and it forces us to face things about ourselves that we maybe have been avoiding. And also it forces us to look at the world in a different way with more mature eyes. It's like the second level maturity that is coming to you. So this also means that the Saturn-Pluto conjunction of January 2020 actually happened in your 10th house of career. So you're probably seeing a lot of those major shifts in career. Well, actually, hang on a second. If the conjunction happened at 20, so actually it's let me do something real quick. I'm just going to verify because I don't want to get this wrong. So I'm going to go back to, on my thing, to January. Yes, okay. So this is very interesting. So actually the Saturn-Pluto conjunction for you happened during in your 9th and 10th houses. So Pluto, Saturn was here, or Pluto was there and Saturn was in your 9th house. And so that kind of is like it's both happening in the spiritual house and in your career house. Calling you to, when Saturn is in the 9th house, he calls you to be that teacher. He calls you to step up. Saturn was asking you to do that in the 9th house of spirituality. And then Pluto in the 10th house was sort of rearranging the way that you present yourself in the world. That's what's been going on. That's the theme basically for you for the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. But all of these planets are basically interacting within these two houses. And that points to where you're at spiritually and how you're going to step up into the world once you go through that sort of shift, that transition, and you begin to go out there in the world in a completely different way, in a way that's more spiritually aligned. I don't even know if that's making sense to you, but hopefully it is. Let's see what else I see here in your chart. Your Gemini rising. That's pretty much the most significant stuff. I think I mentioned this already, but because Saturn is going to be moving into Aquarius in your 10th house, but it will actually, see, you have this thing going on in your chart where like the houses are very interesting. The planets will transit through one house and into the other while they're in one sign. So you've got this Saturn in Aquarius transferring the 10th house and then going into the 11th house of friendships and sharing your gifts with the world. I think this is a major stepping into your own power because it is your Saturn return, but it's also a stepping into yourself as your power as a spiritual teacher and then sharing that with the world. Totally making sense. Okay, good. Okay. Awesome. Because one Saturn return is not enough, right? Of course. Okay, so that's what I see. That's what I'm going to leave it there because I feel like that's major themes going on. Everything else, you know, moves a lot faster in the astrology. But that's going to be a big part of the next few years for you. So that's why that's significant. Next, we've got Dawn. She has looked for it, Shannon, but it's not on there. So she actually doesn't know when she was born. You know, it is possible to also look at the just the actual day. You can get a lot of information just from looking at the actual day that you were born. So we've got. Let me check PayPal real quick again. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Make sure we got the whole end. Patricia, Dawn, Lindsay, Christina, Kim, Michelle, and Darcy. And that's all the people on the list. Insight on my daughter and her hubby. They have been trying to have a baby. Is she yet or when, girl or boy? Well, I won't be able to do a chart because I would have to look at her chart and more than likely his chart too and do like a relationship reading or a composite chart. You're welcome, Patty. So, we wouldn't be able to find this information. Well, is that her chart? I can look at her chart and show you what how the transits are affecting her chart. I'm assuming that's what you want. Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate that. And Christina Maria, all the moderators helping out here. Oh, thanks, Darcy. I think that's what you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that information in. I'm just going to start putting it in. $2,989. $3:20 p.m. So we're going to look at her chart and we're going to see, you know, what I see in a general sense. Las Vegas. Nice. Thanks for pointing that out, Kim. Okay, 2/9/89, 3:20 p.m. Okay, let's click on that. Let me add the transits. But what I do want to tell you is that with this kind of transit reading, those kind of predictions, it's something you can't really make a prediction like that. You can only sort of generally look at what's going on, theme-wise in her life. I would actually think that doing a tarot reading might give you like a different kind of insight. Those things are just really difficult to like predict, just making sure you don't feel disappointed if we don't get the answer you're looking for. So here's her chart, and then here's the transits that are going on right now. Hey, Brittany, welcome in. It's really cool that she's an Aquarius and that she's got her North Node in Pisces. I think that's significant. North Node in Pisces means that she's here to dive deep into the world of the mystical and the divine. And somehow in doing that, she's going to... the lessons that come with that are to learn that it's okay to go through, change and transformation in life. That's like a theme for her, change and transformation. And so she's like having to learn. She's like having to go from feeling safe and secure, feeling like that's what she needs, to being okay with the fact that life is not really stable in the sense that we think it is stable, but in learning to be okay with change, she will understand her divine connection in the world. That's the first thing that I see here. But her being an Aquarius makes her sort of a leader in this time, a leader of the time, a leader of the age of Aquarius. She also has Venus in her 7th house, which is significant because Venus rules the 7th house of relationships and partnerships. In Aquarius, it means that, when she's in relationship with other people, what she loves is to be intellectually stimulated. And if powerful like conversations about the future and the world and solving problems and things like that are not a part of the relationship, then it becomes very difficult for her because it doesn't really like stimulate her. She needs to be intellectually stimulated in order to feel happy in relationships. Check something else. So she's 31 years old, which means that, when she was, so a couple years ago, when Saturn actually, so here's something interesting. Saturn moved into Capricorn in, I think it was December of 2017. And then, so between then and now, she's gone through her Saturn return, which is a very powerful shift in her life, in everyone's life, where she learns to become more mature. Now, interestingly enough, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction and the Jupiter and the Pluto conjunction and, you know, Mars and the South Node, they're all transiting her 6th house. And that's actually the house of the body, her health, work, everyday life, everyday schedule. So her everyday reality has been changing dramatically. Not to mention that that is where she had Saturn when she was born, and also Uranus. And when we look at their house that you would think is the house of children, which is where, you know, the question that you originally wanted or asked, her 5th house of children or creativity has Scorpio at the cusp of that house. Which is interesting because this energy of Scorpio aligns with her North Node being in the 8th house of change and transformation. So it can mean many things. It can mean that in life, it can mean that having children is part of her divine path. That's one meaning here. Having Scorpio here also means that if she does have children, it's going to be a powerful, like, energetic sort of transformational experience for her that will actually help her move more towards purpose, because that child will have an essence of Scorpio. Not that the baby's going to be Scorpio or anything, but it'll have for her a symbolism of a very deep relationship, one that reveals the unknown, one that brings up things that sometimes don't feel very good, but that will always teach you, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. And having Pluto in her 6th house of her body and her health, there's a lot of big changes happening for her right now in this realm. So what I would say is taking care of her body is the most important thing right now. Taking care of her body, if that's what she's wanting to achieve, is to have a child. That's going to be the most important thing, because this realm of her life is completely changing and shifting. It's being transformed. So it's possible that when, you know, these planets move kind of out of the 6th house and into, you know, the 7th, that it kind of, because there's a lot of intensity right there. And it can really go both ways. It can mean, okay, there's something really serious going on here, meaning something solid, something that's going to start building a new world. Like, honestly, Dawn, if I tap into it, what I feel is like a yes. I feel like a child is coming because it's part of her divine destiny. That's what I'm getting. And this child will help her learn a lot of things in her life. When I intuitively tap in. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight. Now, I can't tell you if it's happening right now or when, like, that's too specific. But energetically, if you look at her natal chart and you look at the transits that are going on right now, there's a lot of emphasis on her body, on changing her everyday schedule, right? Because also when you have babies, like, your everyday schedule completely changes. It becomes totally new, and then you discover this new love that you didn't even know existed before. Okay. And that's what Saturn in Aquarius is going to be. It's that, like, that change. All right. So hopefully that gave you some insight. We've got Lindsay next. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. So let me transition back to here. And then if, you know, while we get Lindsay's question, what I'm going to do for that one, because I feel like tarot cards are really kind of more in tune with that kind of a question. Unless I was able to kind of look at her chart like before and then like a few months before and then a few months into the future, then I would be able to kind of verify that more easily. So I'm just going to pull a card, and these are just major arcana cards, so we'll see which one comes out. Dude. Okay, this is kind of crazy. Indigo. Look at that. An indigo child. Okay. We're done there. That's crazy. That's wild. A little aquarium baby. Yes, yeah, yeah, you guys can still sign up for the, I'm still taking names. You can definitely still sign up and get on the list. That's why we love tarot. There's different uses for all this stuff, you know? Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. I was like, what? No, I did not expect that. I didn't even remember that card existed in this deck as one of the major arcana. Yeah. So Lindsay G is next. What question did you have, or what kind of a reading did you want me to do for you? That was pretty legit. That was pretty legit. Yeah. The children are the future. Okay, I see your name, Rebecca, on the list. Oh, she did. Oops, my bad. I didn't see it. I missed it. Thank you, Christina Maria. Thank you for reposting the question, you guys. Okay, what does Spirit want to know and understand about right now? What does Spirit want you to know? What does Spirit want you to know? Okay. I have my little like torch. I just need to burn a little Palo Santo right now. Dang, that card really. I felt that one, man. I felt that one. Thank you, Spirit Guides, Angels, Teachers, for being here with us tonight. Please clear my energy as I pull this reading for Lindsay. And we would like to get a message as to how or what she needs to know right now regarding her life. About R, what does that mean about R? Oh, R is a person. Okay. Got it. So what does Spirit want Lindsay to know and understand about R? Thank you for the clarification. Okay. What does Lindsay need to know about this person she met? I think that this person is going to help you find some balance. that you need in your life. First of all, Two of Crystals is what came out, and the Two of Crystals is about finding balance. I think that you might feel like you've been kind of juggling a lot, but I feel like what the meaning of this for you is there's balance coming. It could also mean that I'm assuming it's he, that he is experiencing right now stress in his life because he's juggling too much. And he may be, he may be not focusing on the good things of life. He might be looking at the negative side of life. And that is something that we all have to avoid, right? We all have to avoid. Because it's like we pulled the Two of Crystals and the Four of Cups, which is all about, not only looking at the thing that's wrong and not looking at all the stuff that's right. However, you did also pull the Lover's card. The Lover's card is more of, bringing in that energy of communication, because it is the Gemini card, but also the union, the relationship, the love that comes with being in relationship, or the power that relationship brings. I think that this, I see kind of like a relationship building here. I see that there is a purpose to this. And connecting with this person is going to not only help him, but you find balance in your lives and start to focus on what really matters in life. And the relationship itself will give you strength. You get the Strength card. I feel like this is a positive reading. I feel like what you need to know about him is that he needs balance in his life, and he needs probably someone to help him see the bright side of things right now, if he's struggling especially, to see it. And serenity as well. Serenity energy. Like it's the calm after the storm kind of feeling. Okay, let me get 2 more cards for Lindsay. So the last 2 cards you get is the Two of Swords. I also think right now that he is trying to decide what to do. Because if he's kind of weighing these 2 options out, and he's trying to decide whether to sort of jump in or, move into this relationship, I think obviously it's his decision, but I think that what you can do to help the situation is to bring back the focus into the gratitude. It's just so crazy. I can't imagine how it's going to happen with all the craziness that's happening right now. Right, exactly. I know we have to trust, but it's weird to think about those sorts of things sorting amongst all the big shifts. Well, the truth is that when if it's a true heart-centered relationship, that love can help people get through hard times. You know what I mean? And the fact that he's that a Pisces Aquarius or Aquarius Pisces cusp, that tells you that like his like normal focus is to think about what the Aquarian age is about. He's intuitively connected with that energy. So it is about having faith, and it is about getting through it, but maybe getting through it together will help you both, right? Find more grounding in life, because you did get the Queen of Crystals or the Queen of Pentacles. So finding, making a choice. I think right now you're faced with a choice for sure. What do we do? Do we Do we try to have a relationship during this crazy time? But what I would say, I would ask you is this a relationship that is going to serve you in a spiritual way? Because honestly, like, relationships that don't serve us spiritually are kind of pointless right now, because spirituality is the one most important thing that we need to focus on. We need to go within. We need to focus on internally, aligning all of our chakras, clearing our energy, connecting to the divine. That's the focus right now. So if the relationship is not focused on that, if it takes you away from that focus, it's really, it goes for everybody, it's really not worth it right now. These times are times that are here so that we can bring out our strength. Yeah, so that we can bring out our strength. But you have the Strength card and you have the Lover's card. Like, those two cards are very powerful. Those are major arcana. I mean, the three major arcana cards, if you think about like the more powerful cards of the reading, are the Lovers, the Strength card, and Serenity. Right? I mean, that kind of is the theme of the message. A beautiful relationship that brings you strength and serenity. But if it's not, then it's not really you know what I mean? It's not really the right time. I think that's why the Two of Swords is there, because there's a decision that needs to be made, like an actual conscious decision as to like, am I going to put my focus on this, or is there something else that needs my focus more than this? It's like you have to prioritize your life right now. Everybody does. We all do. But for you, especially right now. Yes. Big changes. Awesome. Christina Maria is next. Serving the world. Yeah, of course. And Rebecca, and then Patricia, did you sign up again? Or are you sending more? I'm assuming you want another reading. That's just funny to me. Okay, awesome. Okay, Christina Maria, I'm a Libra. Any guidance or insight that is pertinent to my expansion/contribution in this realm will be lovely. So you want me to pull some tarot cards? I feel like tarot cards are appropriate for that question. Right, Wendy? Crazy. So any guidance or insight that is pertinent to Christina Maria's expansion or contribution in this realm. Her expansion and contribution. What message does she need to hear? What words? I'm drinking an iced chai. Made my own almond milk. Chariot. I think that definitely going in the right direction. There's a lot of movement forward. There's forward movement. Chariot is always here. The chariot is always the ride that is here to help you get to where you're going, and it is a spiritual essence. It's abundance, right? It's going in the right direction. Yeah, it's really good. I made my own almond milk with the almond cow. Let me just finish pulling these cards. These are interesting. One more. This is a very positive reading. Interestingly, it's so interesting. These cards are pointing towards like a new beginning in love. You also got the Knight of Cups, which is like, okay, what is that doing over here? Let me just clarify a couple of these other cards. Okay. Are you in a relationship? I don't think you are, but just to... Okay. God, it's like this, honestly, it's like pointing towards a relationship. Most likely like divine, because I would say like at this time that's him. Okay, like it's pointing like whatever whatever is coming for you when it comes to expansion, right? You asked about expansion and contribution. It's pointing towards some kind of a relationship. So we'll go one by one. The Chariot is, right, it's going to be happening fast. The world is moving fast right now. We don't have time to kind of sit here and do nothing. It's funny because we are being forced to sit here, but doing nothing is not an option. What we can do is focus on ourselves, right? You don't have to go out in the world, but to me, this points towards an internal speeding up of your sort of expansion and your awakening. Now, the Five of Swords, which is the next card, is like, it's a little bit of feeling defeated. It's a little bit of feeling like an empty victory, feeling devastated, solitary, like something didn't quite work out. I think that's probably how you feel right now, currently. And you kind of want to move to a different energy, but you're not, it's sort of like you don't really know what to do next. You don't really know where to go. You don't really know where to take it. And this could point towards, that relationship. The Eight of Wands is also here. And the Eight of Wands is basically a fast-moving energy, just like the Chariot, that is about approaching your goal, fast approaching your goal. And the goal is to find love. Believe it or not, like that's literally what the card is about. You're about to find love. Now, that could be, it could be an actual person, right? Because we have the Knight of Cups, but we also have to remember that the cup that the Knight brings represents the full cup, the fullness of life, the spirituality, the love energy, right? The passion, the emotions. It's like the full cup, instead of like the cup is half empty, it's like the cup is half full. But in this case, the cup is full. It's full of love. Like love is here. It doesn't necessarily have to do with an actual person, but normally the Knight of Cups represents like Prince Charming, right? Coming to you and offering you the fullness of life. And that's why it points to that. But remember that it's also like metaphorical, and this is all about symbols and meanings. So you have to think about, how is this really appearing to me in my life? Is this really about a person, or is it about love for myself? You get the Nine of Cups. So like, this tells me that your wishes are coming true right now. Your wishes are coming true. You just need to be strong right now. With the Nine of Wands, you need to be strong in tough times, which we are in tough times and we're all needing to be strong. But the universe says your wishes are coming true. You are going to begin a new love. Here's the cup again, the Ace of Cups. But look at it. This card, this cup is actually full of crystals. And the crystals represent, right, the vibrations, the higher vibrational frequencies of the earth, and connecting to that energy. So what I'm seeing is like, you are moving in the right direction for sure. You're coming out of sort of this defeated energy. It's fast approaching what you want. It could very possibly be an actual person that shows up in your life. Although with this social isolation, I doubt it. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. But it could possibly be... Or it could be just like the full cup is coming, right? The full experience is coming. And more than likely, it'll be a spiritual experience where you'll feel your wishes are actually coming true. You just got to be strong. You got to be strong through these tough times and know that love will begin again. There's a really beautiful song that just came into my head. It's called, I think it's called Begin Again by Taylor Swift. It's in her Red. I think the album is called Red. But it's so sweet, and it can be applied. She talks about, in the song, she talks about how she goes to meet a new guy, and she's like expecting herself to start to talk about her ex and all her problems she's had, and she realizes that this is a new beginning, that this is a fresh thing, that this person is here to awaken her to a whole new way of being. And for the first time in months, she feels like love can actually begin again. And that's the message I just got for you from a Taylor Swift song, which I freaking love. I love that song, by the way. Awesome. Kim is next, by the way, just so you can get your question ready. Free range almonds? Oh my God. Cancers, if they're not centered and like grounded, they can get like too focused on the feelings and the emotions, and they get lost. They get lost in the emotions. Chariot, I'm not sure if that's the Cancer card. We all just need to hole up with our... Somebody said, can you imagine the booming babies, the boomers, after this isolation period in 9 months? Oh my God. No, with regard to a person, he is a Cancer, and he dipped his toe last night and made it evident he was looking at my pictures. We have known each other since I was 13. Oh, okay. Okay, you're welcome. Christina, I'm a Cancer. You leave a relationship or some situation. Yeah, it's true. Don, my husband, he's a Cancer. But he's worked really hard to be like centered, you know? The same way that Geminis can just go freaking off in their head. Every sign has that shadow expression, right? That we have to learn to move beyond, transcend, I guess you could say in a way, recognize, so that we don't get lost in those old habits and patterns. But yeah, that's kind of the shadow of Cancer, like getting lost in your emotions. Quarantines. That's hilarious. I've already had the reading of my chart, and the last time I asked for a reading, I felt as if I were in a positive tower moment. I feel it's past. Insight/advice going forward, please. Okay. We're going to pull some cards for you, Kim. Let's pull those out. A lot of sacred divine feminine energies coming out. Queen of Swords, High Priestess, Queen of Crystals. You know, it's interesting because tower moments sometimes last a while. They don't just kind of go away. Usually tower moments are like massive. But I guess you can have a small tower moment. You were in a positive tower moment. I feel it's past. Insight advice going forward. So what insight or advice does Kim need going forward, please? What insight or advice does Kim need going forward? You're being asked to connect to the sacred divine feminine. Thank you, all the moderators. There's so many moderators in the chat right now. Fading. Okay, that's... I like that use of words. All right, let's see what we got. So, journey forward. What does she need to know? Okay. This is what you got. Let me just show you. Queen of Swords. We know the Queen of Swords is a woman that knows where she stands very clearly. She doesn't veer from her position. She tells it like it is. She's very confident. It's kind of sometimes can be sharp-tongued, but in your case, since this is about a spiritual journey moving forward, I think this is about you finally using the throat chakra to express what it is that you really want to say. Leads right into the High Priestess. When you begin, you know, this journey of like, sorry, it's hard to see. You begin this journey of like, you know, stepping into your power, you actually start listening to your intuition. It's like you trust your inner strength. The High Priestess is all about intuition and trusting intuition, also being in that space that's like a creative energy force. She, in this picture, she's like sitting in her throne, and it's like it's this queen energy, right? I do the moon goddess training, so it's like the moon goddess too. The High Priestess is that moon goddess. She is at her best. You're moving forward. You're definitely going in the direction of understanding your power as a sacred divine feminine energy, and also understanding the power that you have to create and manifest things in your life with the Queen of Crystals, which is the Queen of Pentacles. So the things that are affecting you right now, because those three cards I feel like are the positive message coming through for you of the confirmation or the affirmation that you're on the right track. This second set of cards points to sort of the more shadow or internal process that you're going to be going through, beginning with the Nine of Crystals or the Nine of Pentacles. Which could mean that you're entering a period of time which solitude gives you comfort. A period of time where solitude gives you comfort. Interestingly enough, we're in a quarantine, right? Where you learn, where you get to see, this is the oppression card, which is, I believe, the death card or the devil card. It might be the devil card, but where we see all the things that hold that veil in front of our eyes and don't let us see our true power, that don't let us see or be clear. And if we don't see these things, right, because she's covered with a veil, if we don't see these things, we're blind. We're walking blind in the world. And through this process of going internally and finding comfort in solitude, you will be going through this, you know, awakening where you will finally unveil the truth about who you are and be truly able to step into your power. So right now you're at a crossroads, Two of Swords. There's a decision that you have to make. And only really by going within will you know the answer. Only really by looking at yourself clearly will you know the answer. Only really by taking off the blindfolds, by taking off the veil, will you really know which way you're supposed to go. So this is about seeing yourself fully. uncovering, seeing the truth, and then no matter what you see, not using it as an excuse to feel sorry for yourself or anything like that, but using it as a stepping stone to step into your power, to know exactly what you need to do next, the action that you need to take next to move forward in life. Okay, let me check PayPal again, but Michelle is next. Awesome, Kim. Okay, so we got Michelle, Darcy, Rebecca, and Patricia. Thank you, everyone. Remember to sign up for the website that will be happening next week. Saturn moves into Aquarius tomorrow. I'm putting out an email. So if you're not signed up for my newsletter, sign up for it below. And you'll get that email tomorrow talking about that transit and what it means, the importance of it. And next week, we have the new moon in Aries. We'll do the astrology video, I think, Monday night, and the new moon ceremony on Tuesday night. Oh, thanks, Alexa. Yes, of course. All right, so Michelle wants a transit reading. Okay. Pulling up your chart. 7/17. Did we do a transit reading last week or the week before that, Michelle? 3:58 a.m. Dude, the weather has been so beautiful here. It's ridiculous. Now the sun is setting and it's amazing. Bethesda. I know we did your personal reading, but I mean on the mini readings, did we? MD, is that, what's MD? What date is that? Dude, I can't. Oh, you want tarot? Or we did tarot before and now we want to do transit. Sorry, I don't know what I asked. No, you definitely want a transit reading, but what's MD, you guys? What state is that? Maryland? Okay. Thank you. Okay. You want a transit reading? Okay, 7/17/63 at 3:58 a.m. in Bethesda, Maryland. Okay. Let's pull up the current transits. Take a picture. And then share the screen. I have to give my son my phone to call his father, but I hope to be back before this broadcast is over. Oh, thank you. Yes. All right. This is Michelle's chart and the transits. Oh, really, Shannon? Ooh, crazy. Okay, let's see what we see here. Gemini rising. Well, when Saturn moves, Saturn's going to move into Aquarius. He's going to start off in your 8th house, but then he's going to transition into your 9th. Are you signed up for my newsletter? I'm also a Gemini rising, so I feel like for Gemini rising, this is such a powerful transit, Saturn in Aquarius, because it's going to be happening in our 9th house. And the 9th house is the house of spiritual integration. So we are basically stepping up into becoming the teachers of the Aquarian age. That's the first thing that I see. And it's going to be in Aquarius tomorrow. So it'll start in your 8th house of transformation and change, but it'll move into the 9th house. It'll spend most of the time in the 9th house. Now, when it retrogrades back into Capricorn, it'll go back into your 8th house. So you'll experience more, transformation and change, but then it'll be like a reset in December 21st. Of 2020 when it moves into Aquarius and conjuncts Jupiter at 0 degrees of Aquarius. The energy of the Capricorn energy and the conjunctions, Saturn, Pluto, Mars, Jupiter, even the South Node, all of that happened in your 8th house, which means that the theme that's been going on for you and the theme for 2020 is actually big changes and big shifts that they feel like tower moments. They feel like life is kind of falling apart because it needs to be rebuilt. The 8th house is like the Tower card. It is ruled by Pluto, so the fact that Pluto is in its natural sign for you of Scorpio and death and change and rebirth is significant, because that it literally says this is what's literally going to happen. And it's a very powerful energy. So life has been falling apart, but it's being rebuilt, and we're learning how to rebuild it. And as Gemini rising, we are moving forward into the spiritual quest, because once you go through the Tower moment, right, in the 8th house, that's the change that needs to happen. Then you understand your spiritual path, the 9th house. That's the wheel. That's the zodiac wheel. That's how it works. The bottom half is all about us, ourselves, our identity, who we are, how we function. And the upper is about ourselves in the world. So this is like our relationships, the changes, going through the awakening process, the Tower moments, and then learning about our spiritual selves, and then being able to share that with the world, and learning how to truly share our gifts. And then we find the full completion in the 12th house. So this is a very powerful placement for you as a Gemini rising. It's going to be really, I am really, really excited for all the Gemini rising signs. And in the email tomorrow that I'm going to send, you'll have a little more detail about that. Let's see what else stands out here. The nodes were in Cancer and Capricorn when you were born, and they are in Cancer and Capricorn now. They are in a sign for about 18 months. So this time for you has also been a reactivation of your destiny, of what you're supposed to be focusing on. And what you're supposed to be focusing on is what you love. It's connecting to the heart center. It's also the space of the home. It's also the place of home. Does that give you some insight into what's kind of happening for you? Yeah, pretty powerful stuff. So that's what I see. There's a big focus on destiny. It's interesting too, because this is where your South Node is, your 8th house. So you're supposed to be moving more towards finding more comfortableness in the material world, like in the physical time-space reality. You're supposed to find more comfort in it. Here's your North Node in Cancer. That's why it's so connected, because all these planets are basically conjuncting your south node and saying, okay, we transmute this energy and we bring it over here, and we learn how to, it comes out through here, through the expression of love and gratitude and being in our heart center. And it all has to do with who you are, because you've got the sun there, and how you communicate, and also your purpose in finding more grounding in this life and focusing on the things that you love, the things that bring you comfort and pleasure. What does what mean? You're looking forward for the change? Did I answer your question? You're welcome. Hey, Julene. Welcome in. Amanda Ellis came up with a great alternative to shelter in place. Sounds like an active shooter situation in lockdown. She should just safe harbor. Okay. So Darcy is next. Let's go back to my screen. So I hope that I answered. Okay, awesome, good. I feel bad when I'm like, leave it hanging. So Darcy, what kind of a reading would you like? And we'll go from there. Nice, Julene. That's awesome. I know. I'm really excited. Gemini rising. Here we go. The spiritual quest has begun. We've got Darcy, Rebecca, and Patricia. Thank you, Shannon. Can we please do charts? Okay, so we'll do a transit reading. Let's pull up your info. We've got 10, 26, 73. 10/26/73 at 5:16 p.m. in Albany. You guys are in lockdown, huh? Over there in New York. All right, 10/26/73 5:16 p.m. Albany. Okay, got it. Okay, I'll take a picture of this. You are an Aries rising. Transition. I love looking at the rising signs. It really gives so much information, because then you align all of the houses and it's just cool. Okay, here we go. Here's your chart. And yeah, sure, if you want to get on the list, sure. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. So let's see what I can see here. Let's see what's going on. There's a lot of major shifts happening in your 10th house of career. So that means, like, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction happened in your 10th house of career, which means that there's changes in not just your career, because I mean that's such a general word, but the 10th house is also like the persona that we put out into the world. It's like we've gone, by this point in our chart, we've gone through the spiritual journey, the changes, the awakening, all of that, and now we reach a point where we're ready to go out there and work and show the world how we can contribute. This realm of your life is being completely changed, reformatted. And I think right now you're discovering that you can be something different. You can be someone else. Not someone else, but like you can become a new person, right? You can actually share your gifts with the world in a way that actually helps to serve the world, because Saturn, he's already in your 11th house of friendships and also sharing the gifts with the world. So what your journey is going to be is about figuring out how you can actually be of service and share those gifts with the world. And it'll be about building new relationships that align. They're like the Aquarian relationships, the relationships that give more meaning into your life because they align with where we're going. Yes, reinvention is a great word. So that's what's happening for you. You are actually, this is interesting because the nodes right now are opposite the way the nodes were when you were born. You were born with the North Node in Capricorn and the South Node in Cancer. And right now the North Node is in Cancer and the South Node is in Capricorn, which means there's like an opposition, right? The world is asking us to move towards our heart center, but you already know that. You were born with that knowledge, with that understanding, so it's almost easier for you. The world is moving away from the structures, the old structures that, Saturn ruled energy, the authority, and doing things with a goal in mind, with an ambitious goal in mind, and getting to that point. But that is not very emotional. That is not very heart-centered. When you focus too much on a goal, and when you meaning the goal is like, to make a lot of money or something. When you put all your focus and on your energy on getting somewhere, somewhere along the line, sometimes we lose the connection to our heart space, and we don't relax into it. You're actually, because your North Node is in Capricorn, you are actually being called to focus more on having a goal, on having an ambition. So it's interesting dynamic that right now the universe is saying, but we're moving away from that. So there's going to be a little bit of like an opposite pull to, you're supposed to do that, but the world is saying no. It's interesting. It's very interesting. You might feel that kind of, a resistance, or you might feel comfortable where the world is wanting us to go, but your focus is to move away from that and to move more towards career goals and that part of your life. And I think that's why it's all transitioning right now, so that you actually understand that there's a different way of doing things, and you can get innovative about it. You can do something different and share that with the world. When will they stop? The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is going to happen in your 10th house. This is, so can you explain actually what you actually meant? Like when will what stop? Because I'm not sure if I'm answering the correct question. I'm assuming something, but I don't know if that's exactly what you're asking. But this Pluto is going to be in Capricorn for a long time. Jupiter is in Capricorn for only a year. Saturn is going to be in Aquarius for about 2 to 3 years. So this is a theme for your life. For all of us, it's been a theme for a while. Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008. Saturn moved into Capricorn in 2017, and now it's just now moving into Aquarius. The nodes are going to move into Gemini and Sagittarius on May 5th. So that energy will change, and you'll feel the shift. May 5th. Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. We're going to talk about that in the webinar because it's really significant. The nodes changing signs, really significant shift for us as a collective. I'm really excited. I was actually born with North Node Gemini, South Node Sagittarius, so I'm going to be having a nodal return on top of Saturn being in my 9th house and all of that. So, okay, good. I'm glad. So we've got Rebecca next and then Patricia. It's a massive energetic shift, you guys. The nodes point the whole world into, as a collective, into a different direction. We're like, for the last 18 months until May, it's about connecting with our heart. But then it's going to shift and the focus will be like Gemini. I'm not even going to talk about it right now because I want to save that for the webinar, but it's a completely different energy. I got to tell you that because it's more of the mind, right? You're welcome, Darcy. It feels like the summer right now here, you guys. So tomorrow is going to be really beautiful. And then it's going to rain for like a whole week. So tomorrow I think I'm going to try to spend as much time outside as possible, like walking the dog. We might sneak out and go to the beach. I told Dawn, I was like, damn, tomorrow's the last day that it's going to be nice. I really want to go to the beach and just be in nature, you know? I said, I think it's possible to do it without touching anything or anyone. I said, if we take our own food, our own drinks, our own everything, we won't have to like do anything. We don't have to get gas. We don't have to stop at a restaurant. We like nothing. You just like kind of go and be in nature and then come back. You know, I was like, I think it's possible. Don't touch anything. Super funny. Okay, here's Rebecca's question. And then I saw Julene that you got on the list as well. Okay. I would love a reading regarding finances for the next months or so. Reader's choice, transit reading and her cards. I love how you read. Yeah, intellectual, right? Oh, of course I'm going to freaking love it, right? The North Node in Gemini. I'm going to be like, party time. Don't tell anybody. Oh, shit. Curfew? Dang. I know. How do you consciously get out of your house? In that case, you don't. But Oregon hasn't had any new cases. We've only had 88 cases. I'm not rationalizing going out, you guys. We're definitely like isolating, social distancing, all that stuff. Dawn has literally had to, cancel a lot of his clients because his work is like body work, The most intense contact you can have with another human being, literally touching their body. It's tough times, man. Tough times. In my element, I know. You noticed a lot more people. Yeah, I'm sure everybody wants to go and but the only reason I want to do that is because it's going to be nice tomorrow and then it's going to rain for a whole week. And then it doesn't really feel good. So, Rebecca, so you wanted me to choose transit or cards. I would love a reading regarding finances for the next few months or so. Okay. What's your rising sign? I'm going to pull cards for you. I know you're a Sagittarius, but I don't remember your rising sign. You're working from home soon, yeah. I do love party time. I'm just a crazy Gemini. Oh my God, I watched Leo rising. Okay, so that's Leo in your first house and Virgo in your second house. So what's in Virgo right now? Let me just, God, I don't think anything's in freaking Virgo right now. but Virgo is your second house, which means it's Libra, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, it would be Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, right? Yeah. And then Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So you have, yeah, Virgo and Pisces. So you have Virgo in the second house of finances. So nothing. It doesn't mean there's no significance. It just means that for your financial house, you have it kind of, you have that Virgo energy. But Neptune is in Pisces right now. So Neptune is in your 8th house, which is the duality of the second house, right? That's like the money that comes to us from outside sources. Neptune is kind of like dreamy energy. It's kind of a funky planet to be in the 8th house, honestly. They are going to stop people going to the beaches because they won't stay at a distance from each other. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's that sucks. Nobody cares. Just kidding. All right, but either way, what we want to know here with these cards is, what does Rebecca need to know regarding her finances for the next few months, please? Can we get a message regarding Rebecca's finances for the next few months? And cards falling everywhere. What are your cap placements? What's your North Node in? Oh, right. It would be in Virgo. So you're talking about the Capricorn that's transiting right now. It's trining your North Node? Okay. We're going to stop there. That's plenty of cards. Finances. Well, Virgo is Earth energy, and the second house is ruled by Taurus. So I think Virgos are like really good manifestors. They focus on the details. Yes, they can be a little overcritical, but they're really good at like kind of making things come true because they have that connection with Pisces, right? Which is the pulling from the divine, like, you know, and bringing it out to the, plus they're rulers of the 6th house of the material world, and, you know, literally like bringing heaven to earth, that Virgo energy. So I feel like, I don't think you should not, especially with the North Node in the 2nd house, it has that energy of Taurus too, because the 2nd house is ruled by Taurus. And you could think of Uranus being in Taurus right now. That's significant because your North Node technically is also in Taurus. I don't think you'll have trouble, but let's see what the cards say. You get, I'm just going to show you what I got. We got the Hierophant. We got the King of Wands. We've got the 7 of Swords. We've got the 9 of Cups. We've got the 7 of Crystals and the 7 of Wands and the Three of Swords. You're like, what the hell is that one doing there? And the Ten of Swords. These cards are so random. And the Five of Crystals. The Hierophant. The Hierophant is he's the spiritual teacher. He is the master, right? The ascended master. He has that connection to the divine, but it's more of a masculine or patriarchal connection to the divine. It's the structural aspect of the divine, so it would be like church or basically structuring the sacred divine. However, the Hierophant is, because if the Hierophant represents masculinity, and the masculine energy is the one that has to take action, right, in the world, the Hierophant is asking you to look at how can you restructure yourself with the question that you asked financially in your life. It's like, okay, let's think about this. Let's look at what you have available to you, right? You have North Node and Virgo in the second house of finances, which means that part of your purpose is to find abundance. So how do you define abundance in your life? So the Hierophant is bringing up, the question like, okay, he's saying, let's look at this at a deeper level. Let's look at it at a deeper level. And then then the rest of the cards are sort of the message that comes from the Hierophant. The first card is the King of Wands. Again, another masculine energy. It's a king. However, if we look at the symbolism of the kings and the queens, they've mastered something. So you have the masculine energy of the Hierophant bringing you a card or a message from another masculine energy, which is the King of Wands. And the King of Wands has mastered the aspect of creativity, of passion. So because we have these two masculine energies bringing the message, I think that for you, you have to connect to the part of you that is going to actually take action towards the financial aspects of your life in the next few months. I think there's going to be certain things along the way that are going to be challenging you, and you're going to be questioning, is this true? Is this real? Am I being deceived? I want to feel like I have enough and don't need to ever stress over finances again. I've been slowly getting there since the awakening. Yeah. So there'll be a process. There will be a process of figuring out, sort of like a small block in the road, where you have to ask yourself, is this really what I need? Should I really go that way? Is this somehow, is something deceiving me? That's what I feel with the Seven of Swords. But once you get over this sort of little hurdle, you're going to start to see your wishes coming true. The Nine of Cups. Wishes coming true. And then you'll start to pretty much build. You'll start to build. It's always about, we always want to, build our world when it comes to finances, finding security. And it's funny that you say that, because that's the North Node in the second house, is security. You want security in your life, because at a very soul level, that's what you came here to find. So this is connected to your destiny. Once you get through the veil, right? We can think of that as, Neptune transiting your 8th house in Pisces. Neptune also being the kind of planet that goes into the underworld, in a sense. It goes into the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind, and brings up like things that we don't normally look at. Neptune is transiting your 8th house. It's like waking you up to see things that before you couldn't see. That is also connected to the 7 of Swords, that energy of the unveiling, right? The knowing of what is deceiving me, and so that I can stop being deceived. How can I open my eyes more to see what's really underneath the surface? I love that, Rebecca. Because once you do that, your wishes will start coming true. The 7 of Crystals, you will start to reap the rewards of the hard work and the effort, right? You will be able to move forward from a place of knowing, literally knowing your strengths. Because the next card that you get is the 7 of Wands, which means that you are capable of holding your own during any challenges that arise. It's almost like you will find your strength. Now, I don't think that this journey, I feel like you're kind of going to go through this. Right now, there's like the deep understanding, the curve, right? So like you said, the next few months. So I feel like for the first, month, you're going to be like diving deep. And then you're going to come out, you're going to unveil, you're going to take off the blindfold, and you're going to be able to see where you're going. And you see that, your hard work is paying off. But then I think that there's going to be like a small dip, and you're going to be faced with basically looking, yes, there are a lot of 7s, looking at like heartbreak and letting go of something that needs to be fully released. Okay, so let me show you the cards. 3 of Swords, Ten of Swords, and 5 of Crystals. So there's going to be a deeper understanding at the end of the journey about what was really going on there. And what was really going on there, you're going to start to see, was you got to let go of the heartbreak. You got to let go of the feeling of lack, because that's basically the 5 of Crystals. It's like spiritual impoverishment. It's going to teach you how to become stronger in these 3 areas. Your heart. I know, right? The last 3 cards are kind of gnarly. But I think this is going to be not necessarily where it's going to end, but I do feel like it's going to be a realization that you're going to have as you finish it out. As you finish out that cycle. But again, you have to look at what's really going on here, right? The Hierophant is the major arcana in this reading. Oh, nice. So trust your inner teacher. Trust that ascended master. Trust that energy, because that's going to be what guides you through this whole next few months. But you have to remember too that part of your destiny is to have this financial security, to feel security in your life. And the feeling of the security, in the feeling of the security, you have to move away from the drama of life, you know? Taurus is the opposite of Scorpio. Scorpio is the more dramatic, darker energies, deep, you know, deep energies. But the North Node being in your second house of Taurus is stability, less drama, more security. Trust that obviously you're being guided towards achieving that. And the actions that you take towards achieving that financial security will take you closer to achieving it. So because it's your purpose, it's actually a big deal. It's not just, you know, I can feel that you're wondering about this because it's the underlying theme of your life, right? So it is important for you to focus on that. But also know that like what we're moving into, it's gonna get worse before it gets better for everyone financially. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. And that could be those cards just kind of giving you that little warning, like, you know, get ready. Okay. Nice. Okay, awesome. So then we've got Patricia, Julene, and then Margita. That's who we got on the list. And I think we might close it at Margita. Margita will be the last one. You don't know where you're going, but you know where you've been. Yeah, I like that. So if you guys want a transit reading, just make sure you have your info ready, which means date of birth, time, and location, city, state. And if you want tarot, just have your question ready and just say tarot. Who's gonna sign up for the webinar? Yeah, sure. I'm curious. Okay, transits for your sun. Let's see. And 21095. So 022, that's 12:22 a.m., right? Sorry, I'm like the best at these things. Monterey. How cool to be born in Monterey. Awesome. Michelle, Wendy. I know some of you guys have already signed up. Shannon. 21095. Awesome, Patty. In Monterey. Okay. So here we go. Connecting the iPad. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you guys signing up for mini readings. You have no idea how much this supports me in more ways than you can imagine. Okay. So here is your sun's chart and then the current transits. So let's see what we got. He's Aquarius, Sun, yeah, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at Channel for Grace and join my Facebook group, Channel for Grace Soul Tribe, because the links are in the description of the video, because we're going to start a 40-day meditation tomorrow all together for this very special time in the ascension of the earth. Okay, I can't mark it up, but I can just talk to you from what I see. He's Aquarius, Sun, Scorpio rising, Moon in Gemini, Venus in Capricorn, North Node Scorpio, South Node Taurus. That's the opposite of what we're just looking at. Oh, thanks, Kim. Appreciate it. Come on. I think I need to upgrade my iPad once again. But sorry, it's just that I can't, the little pencil thing won't appear. So it makes it really difficult for me to even show you anything because I can't mark up the page. It's so annoying. But as I keep doing this over and over, I'm just going to talk. Basically, in the bottom part of the chart, you see all of the, you see Pluto, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn transiting his third house of communication. Which means that in his life, he was already born with Uranus in Capricorn in the third house, just Uranus in whatever house it is. It says that you're going to be you're different. He also has his sun in the third house, which means intellectually communicating with people is actually, he's very comfortable with that. He loves to talk and express himself vocally and intellectually. And Mercury in the third house as well. It's a Gemini ruled planet. So more of the communication aspect. What he has to say is something very different that we've never heard before. He has come here to deliver a message. And the message is from like the beyond. So right now what he's experiencing is a major change in his communication style, I guess you could say. Let me just try something for fun. I'm sorry I can't mark it up. I feel horrible. But it's down at the bottom of the chart. So he's experiencing a shift in his communication style. The way that he has communicated before is sort of dying, changing, being reborn, because right on, okay, cool, because he actually has a message that he's going to share. Saturn is going to move into Aquarius, also in his third house of communication, but then it's going to be in his fourth house of the home, which means that for him, home life is going to change a lot. The new realm that he's, for the next few years, it's going to be beginning to express himself very clearly about what he wants, and he might have visions of the world that are very different than most people recognize. He is one of these children that's going to guide us in the Aquarian age. You know, I feel like anybody that's an Aquarius has a very in-tune connection, and the fact that he has that Mercury right there in Aquarius too, he knows how to talk about the future. He knows how to express things like in a prophecy kind of way. He knows how to carry the message. And the message that he's bringing is a spiritual message of love. Because if you see at the top part of his chart, again, sorry, I can't scribble on it, he's got Cancer at the cusp of his 9th house of spiritual integration. Which means that that's the message he brings, is love, which is the Aquarian age. So this makes me think that your sun is very much like a third wave volunteer, if you've ever heard of the Dolores Cannon books. When he so until 2023, Saturn will be in Aquarius, and Saturn will return for him when it moves into Pisces. So 2023 and beyond, the year 2023, so when he's 20, hang on. Numbers are not my freaking thing, okay? So he's 25 right now. Yes. So in the year 2023, he's going to be 29. He's going to go through his Saturn return. So between now and then, there's massive shifting for him. And he's going to have big realizations. Hopefully that that gives you some insight. Does that kind of confirm things that you've been seeing? Thanks, Wendy. Hopefully it does. And oh, this is so crazy. Sorry I couldn't write on the chart. I apologize for that. But that's the major things that I see in his chart. So we have Julene and Margita. Feel free to put up your question, Julene. He sure is. Awesome, Patty. You're welcome. Oh, have an awesome dinner, Shannon. Thank you for hanging out with us. Yeah, so that's major. Like moving 25. It's in just 4 years he's going to have his Saturn return, so it's a big deal. He definitely has a message to share. I love that. Okay. So let's move this while I pull up Julene's chart. Thank you, everyone, for your support once again. And keep your head up during these crazy times. 6465. It's 544. Phoenix. And remember, there's a lot of stuff coming up for us in these next couple of days. A lot of stuff coming up collectively. we got a new moon on Tuesday. Saturn moving into Aquarius tomorrow. Whoo! It's exciting stuff, but also kind of scary what the future holds. Unpredictable, something we've never seen before. Oh my God, yes, Julene, I would love that. Yes. Okay, so June 4th, 65, 5:44 a.m. in Phoenix. Okay, so let's do current transits. Did we look at the current transits? You are a Gemini rising as well, so this is for sure a powerful spiritual journey for all Gemini risings, because Saturn will be moving into our ninth house of spirituality. God, I might not be able, see, this is horrible because I hate that I can't do my little markups because my iPad is having trouble with it. But hopefully with just me talking, it'll be enough. Maybe the thing will appear, maybe it won't. So annoying. So we're looking at the top right quadrant of the circle, where we see Saturn, Pluto, Mars, and Jupiter. And it is, you know, it is transiting your 8th house of death, change, transformation, rebirth. Saturn will be moving into your 9th house of spiritual integration. So for the next 2 to 3 years, your journey will be a spiritual one. Gemini risings there's a lot happening when it comes to understanding your place in the world, understanding your spirituality in the world, in the new world. Let's say the new world. So understanding your place in the new world, understanding your spirituality in the new world. You are the teacher. Gemini is the teacher. That's the Gemini energy. We are teachers. Oh my God, look at that. It showed up. Okay, here's what we're looking at. There's all these things. Okay. So we're stepping into leadership as teachers. Leadership as teachers. This is for you. This is general, but it's also exactly happening in your chart in this way. I feel a shift for me this past 5 or 7 days. The moon has been transiting your 9th house of spiritual integration as well. So it's almost like when the moon is in Aquarius, for you, this connects you to the spiritual realm and major shifts. This Saturn, so you guys, Saturn is moving into Aquarius tomorrow. We're all feeling major shifting. Major shifting. Right? So, but for you, this is big. This is powerful. You're totally on it that things are changing. And fast and right now. For sure. Let's see, what else do I see? The sun just moved into Aries, and it's gonna, in the next few days or so, it's going to be moving into your 11th house. So this Aries season for you, so the sun is in a sign for a month, right? He's basically going to be transiting your 11th house of friends and sharing the gifts with the world. So for you, this is going to be the activation and initiation of you sharing your gifts with the world. And the fact that this is the 11th house, which normally rules the sign of Aquarius, where Saturn is going to be moving into, there's another powerful connection there. And the fact that right now Taurus is in your 11th house and he also rules the sign of Aquarius, that's a big deal too. All of it is pointing towards understanding yourself at a spiritual level and then sharing that with the world. That's the 9th house and the 11th house. So that's basically the theme for you for the next few years, is stepping into in a leadership role in the new world as a spiritual teacher, and then that will be literally what you do. That will literally be the gift that you share. Does that give you some confirmation? Okay. Or why is your PayPal say Margita? It keeps misspelling it. Okay, Margarita. So I'll call you Rita. A square is a challenge or an obstacle that basically challenges you to heal something or take action or transcend something. Squares create, obstacles or challenges in your chart that you need to get through. I'm feeling centered and connected right now, and I didn't quite feel like that a few short weeks ago. Yeah, so you're definitely feeling that Saturn transit. You're definitely you're tuning into that for sure. So let's do Margarita's reading. So you let me know what you want to ask. You're on a strict stay-at-home directive in the Bay Area right now. Oh, I'm glad. So Rita, join my Facebook group if you haven't yet, Channel for Grace Soul Tribe. For those of you guys, right now is like the perfect time. We are going to be meditating together for the next 40 days. I'm going to be going live in my Facebook group tomorrow to talk about it and explain everything. And follow me on Instagram because I'll be posting on there as well. So that will be, so you can connect to the community, the Channel for Grace community. So on Facebook, Channel for Grace Soul Tribe, ask to join the group and we'll be connected together for these next 40 days. I know this is a crazy time, you guys. We got to just ride it out. And I am so glad I have a workout machine in my garage. I would go crazy if I couldn't exercise. Holy moly. Awesome, Julene, I'm glad. Oh, I don't know, Valerie. I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to go live exactly. Probably sometime in the afternoon, I'm thinking. Yeah, that's a great question. So, Rita, what is your question? This is our last reading, you guys. And I've been officially live for 3 hours. No, it's going to be cool. We're going to be meditating on a different chakra every day. And we're going to separate the 40 days into 10-day themes. The first 10 days will be our physical body and the healing of the physical body. The second 10 days will be the healing of our emotional body. The third 10 days will be the healing of our mental body. And the last 10 days will be the activation of our purpose in the world. It's going to be awesome. I can't freaking wait to start this journey because I need it for myself. We're all being, asked to stay home. This is what we can do to help, you guys. If we can't go anywhere, what can you do? Well, you do the spiritual work. You go within. It's a quarantine. We're literally, it's almost like a world Vipassana, right? Do you guys know what a Vipassana is? It's basically, it's a type of Buddhist meditation where you are really quiet. Yeah, this has been 3 hours. This is why I started early, because I knew today was going to go on forever. So you are silent, you don't speak, you just meditate. This is the symbolism of what we're going through right now. If you didn't get to watch the beginning of the video, definitely watch it. My gym put out virtual workouts. I know all my, yeah, so I get to yoga at home. I get to watch, like I can't, after this, I'll probably do like a yoga sculpt class. So I am waiting for your question, Rita. What's your question? You're welcome, Lindsay. It's very important. I kept asking myself, what do I want to share? What am I ready to? What do I need to do during this time? How can I step up? And today, when I watched that video from Matías de Stefano, I was really inspired because I was feeling kind of low. The last few days have been really scary. These changes they bring a lot of unknowns, and you can really seriously get lost in the fear. And I felt so funky yesterday, but today I got re-inspired, and and I'm like, I need to do this. This is something really important, not just for me, but this is how I step up as a teacher. And I'm like, I have so much Gemini in my chart. Like, I'm a natural teacher. Gemini in the 12th house Gemini, right? You draw in from the divine and the mystical, and you bring it through. Like, divination is my job. I'm supposed to do this as a purpose. But I also have North Node in Gemini in the 12th house. So my purpose is to share the teachings of the mystical teachings of the universe. And this is where I feel the most comfortable. This is where I feel the most home. And it's in any expression. So you feel that in my music, you feel that in the words, you feel that in my channeling, you feel that in my readings, you feel that in the way I read astrology. That's what's going on there. That's what you guys are feeling. You're feeling the 12th house Gemini energy, like just channeling through. And it's like that's my purpose. That's why I'm here. That's why I do this. But it's not easy because we're human too, so we have to experience material life, even though we're so spiritually connected. It's like moving in between worlds. It's like you're living in two worlds at one. That's what I feel like all the time. I feel like I'm out there, but I'm here too, you know? Yes. Involuntary hermit mode. So you can do you guys will be able to do the meditation on your own. I haven't even thought about it, honestly, because it just started today. So tomorrow I'll go live, probably sometime in the afternoon, because in the mornings, like, I actually sleep in. I know, right? What happened to Rita? Okay, there we go. I usually like sleep in, and then I walk my dog, and then I have to ease myself into the day. When I get up and I start moving too fast, by the end of the day, I'm like overwhelmed. If I don't find some moments to ground, I'm freaking everywhere, and it doesn't feel good. So I have to set up my little routine. It's like I wake up, right? I drink my Pyrium drink. Then I walk the dog. You know what I mean? Then I take a shower. Then sometimes I'll do a little workout on my machine. So I'm really not available until afternoonish, which is what I'm thinking will be when I go live. So just be on the lookout for that. It is a group meditation. So what I'm going to decide, so basically if you can't make the live on any given day, you could just watch the replay on your own. That's what I mean. That you could, if you can't make the lives, then you can do it on your own. And I'm not sure if I'm going to go live every single day, or if I'm just going to go live like once every few days. You know what I mean? So like we do our meditation on our own, and then we go live again. So we'll figure it out. All right, this is a message for Rita. General message for Rita regarding her life. Remember to get in on the meditation. Just join my Facebook group or follow me on Instagram. But mostly the Facebook group, you guys. What does Rita need to know right now? about what she needs to know. What's your rising sign, Rita? Whoa, that was a little intense. Okay, 2 more cards, please, for Rita. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. You guys, some of you guys have been here for 3 hours. We've been at it for 3 hours. Okay. It's a little savage. Let's see what we got here. You got 2 major arcanas, the Strength card and the Wheel of Fortune, first of all. I'm just verifying a couple of cards. Okay, here's the underlying theme in this message. It is about manifesting, creating like in your life in general. So you got the 3 of Wands, the Strength card, the 10 of Wands, the 7 of Cups, the Ace of Crystals, the 10 of Cups, the 5 of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. So the 2 major arcanas are the Strength card and the Wheel of Fortune. These are the 2 cards that are the main theme of your reading. The Strength card is literally about you finding your strength. So situations in life that help you find your strength are what's going on right now. This Wheel of Fortune is about life is changing. It's taking a turn, right? This is the wheel of time, and it is, I'm imagining, I'm seeing this huge clock that goes shoosh. And so your life is going to start going in a different direction, but it is a positive direction. The place you're moving towards a new beginning in manifesting. The Ace of Crystals is the new beginning of creating your future when it comes to the earthly possessions, the material possessions of the world. It's almost like right now you're sitting and you're observing. The 3 of Wands. You're sitting and you're observing the possibilities. You're looking out into the horizon and you can see what's available. You can see where you can take your life. That's the Wheel of Fortune, right? The Wheel of Fortune is like you spin the wheel and then infinite possibilities until something comes up. But that means a change, a shift. It's like a shift in the wind or a shift in the air. Your life right now is changing. You're being redirected to a different course, but you can see what's out there. You can see the options that are out there. But these different things are all about you understanding your strength, knowing where your strength lies. If right now life probably feels like the 10 of Wands and the 7 of Cups. The 10 of Wands is about carrying a burden, doing it all yourself. It doesn't feel good to do it all yourself. And the 7 of Cups, it's like living in a dream, like almost like living in an illusion, right? Having too many options available to you. Although in this case, looking out at the horizon, we started the message with there are options, but you just can't live in the dream world. You have to like bring it back to reality. And you have to understand that if you try to do everything yourself, if you take on all of this work and that's not really gaining the strength that we need right now. The strength that we need right now is more of spiritual strength. However, the Ten of Cups is also about putting in the work, doing the work, right? Doing the work and working hard to get where you want to go. You're working really hard right now. And I know it feels like everything, there's pressure and the whole world is like the whole weight of the world is on you, that you're moving forward towards your dreams, basically. And the activation, like all this hard work, also knowing that you can't do it all yourself, but the hard work is taking you towards a new beginning of manifesting abundance in your life with the Ace of Crystals. And basically the Ten of Cups, which is the most powerful way to receive that abundance, to see that abundance in your life. The Ten of Cups is like basically the perfect life, the perfect marriage, the perfect family, the perfect home, the security, all of that comes with that. That's what you're moving towards. And you have to be careful of any tension that might arise in your life that tries to veer you in a direction that's not of service to you. Five of Wands. When like the tension appears in your life, this could represent someone who tries to, quarrel with you or argue with you. If there's like arguments at home, or like this against this person against that person, those kind of things, you have to avoid those things. They'll veer you off track, but they can also activate a new shift. The Wheel of Fortune. An abundance, right? With Leo rising, that means that Saturn is going to be transiting your, Saturn is going to be moving into your 6th house of everyday life, everyday schedule, work. Actually, I feel like you're going to get a break. I feel like you're getting a break right now from all the pressure. You're getting an opportunity to like look at it from that perspective of like the Three of Wands, where you're looking at the world in front of you. You're getting that moment. So when you get back on, you're going to have a bigger perspective of what's going on in your life. I think that's what's going on right here. Because with Saturn moving into your 6th house, that's a shift in your everyday schedule. That's a shift in the everyday world, in your work. And, also the body and health and all of that. So hopefully that gives you some insight. And I know you're actually watching, you're like not exactly at the live point. Because you're just now watching. Now the video is going to stop on her because we're going to end soon. But so since you're watching this, make sure just go back and watch the replay in case the video stops while I'm doing your reading. Okay. God, that was pretty good. That was a good one. It doesn't feel like it, right? I know. This is like socializing time. We're like hanging out. All right, you guys, I'm going to get going because this was good. But it's time for me to go back into hermit mode. Thank you, everyone that signed up for a reading. You are all entered to win a free reading. I have names from last week and from the week before that are going to go in the jar. We've got, I think, one more week. So next week on the 27th, one more chance to get on the drawing for March. And then in April, I'll go live or I'll upload a video that tells everybody who won the reading, and then we'll schedule that privately. And I'll also send you an email. Usually that's what I did last time. I send the person that won an email. You guys are amazing. So Anne, Patricia, Dawn, Lindsay, Christina, Maria, Kim, Michelle, Darcy, Rebecca, Patricia, you got two raffle tickets. Julene and Margarita, you guys are all on the list. I see that some of you guys have signed up for the webinar. Please sign up for it. I won't be able to send you the link unless you sign up for it before we go live. You have a week to sign up. Get on my email list so you get that Saturn in Aquarius email. And if you haven't watched the Saturn in Aquarius Pick a Card that I just released on Tuesday, make sure you watch that Pick a Card reading. I think that's everything. That's everything. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. 40-day meditation starts tomorrow. Join my Facebook group, Channel for Grace Soul Tribe, and also follow me on Instagram at Channel for Grace, and we'll be on this powerful journey together. We got to help each other through this time. Remember, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. It's going to get worse before it gets better. So next week when we do our webinar, it's going to feel like, again, we're in a completely new world again. That's how fast things are changing and shifting right now. It's like minute by minute. What's going on? Minute by minute, right? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Live long and prosper. We're going to do what we can do to actually help the world right now. That's what we're going to focus on. I will see you all tomorrow in the Facebook group if you want to join our 40-day meditation. Otherwise, I'll see you on Monday for the new moon in Aries astrology video. And I'm going to do that live here. All right? Love you guys. Ciao.